Someone signed me up for Chinese ketchup. So what you got there?
It looks like it's gonna overflow.
It's like something bad. It's like it'll explode if you let it hit the ground. Yo, you should play hot potato with that.
No, I don't think so. I wouldn't want us to get like dropping or anything. Because she just bought this like on the way here. She just bought this at.
You guys are the ones running this party, right?
Right. Post type. Yes, yeah.
Yep.
I don't think it is. I think it's like
Yeah, I just fell a little laugh and everything was west. I wish I was there.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so this is where the biggest festival is. So instead of one topic, we have two topics. You're not going to know where you're going to start, so it's your job to go in. And basically dissect each one. But let me go back forward. So
Sorry.
But to move this along, we're going to talk about our motive.
I can't believe this. You're accusing me of stealing from my best friend's sister? What's going into you?
I'm trying to like.
Give me one good reason why you steal from her. No, not even just from her. From anybody. Oh, definitely. Listen to me, Sula. I'm not saying you stole from her or anybody else.
Yeah, lad. Not when I'm recording.
So, in the case we're talking, I was the one that came up earlier. It does. I think the last meeting, right? That and that's why I asked you, where'd you get that hat? I got this on Etsy, and that's why I figured I don't know what convention did you go to yours?
So I got that convention. Won't give me your business card that I wanted. Probably that's it.
I mean, I've seen it on Etsy. So I was just wondering. I mean, I like the hats, are great.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the first time when I first bought it, I'm like, why did I just buy it? And then I wear it here all the time, and I'm like, this feels right.
Especially now that it's gonna be nice and cool.
Yeah.
I'll be wearing it on camera.
I'm just getting video. Sorry about that.
Oh my god, I expect to see that online. I expect to see that online.
Yep.
Is it disturbing?
Partially.
Partly.
More disturbing than when I had a dream. I was at like a supermarket and then I met Bronies in my dream.
I've met Bronies at Target with Scarlett before. We were just walking through the pony aisle and we see these two adults in there and we're just like, hi.
Can I have everybody's attention, please?
Yay!
Yay!
My name is Allison Cordova, right? And I'm an RTV major, film minor. My next assignment is a music video. I don't know if you saw the My Little Flying lesson that was posted. That was a 60-second version because of the limits of the assignment. We have an assignment to make a music video, and I was brainstorming with Heather, and after all the fun that we had shooting all the footage for that 60-minute thing, or the 60-second thing, I'm gonna do a music video, and I would love for whoever is available, once we decide on a song, and the script is made, I would love for whoever is in the group to show up in Brony gear or My Little Pony gear. So I'm just throwing that out there. If anybody's interested. I am. So just think about it. Thank you. Okay, I'm just throwing it out there. And
I am.
I know.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
Show off like their
Yes,
stuff, or
thank
show
you.
off your dancing.
Well, there's parts of the assignment. There's no lip syncing. He wants more of like a storyline. Like, I'll put once we figure it out, I'll put all the assignment things or the criteria up on the Facebook so that you guys can see what you have to do or what have you. Cool? But I think, yeah, so I and Heather will be working on the song. Yay. Thank you. As you were. Oh, Ryan? What?
Oh yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'll go next.
Do you need music from a laptop by chance?
We're also going to start out the OC drawing tutorial. Learn how to create your own OC. So you like characters and whatnot.
Step 1, take pony.
Yes.
Step 2.
So, if you want to check out this cool OC tutorial, learn how to draw. It'll be starting up soon. I'm going to be passing papers. If anyone wants a paper, I can also I can pass it out to you, and I can also get you a colored pencil and a few pens. So just raise your hand if you need any of that. Cool. Yep, paper.
The mic is covering the picture.
How do we switch back to music?
Take that bottom plug, unplug it, and put in the other one. Microphone's off.
You're good. And then up the camera. Wish they had a longer cable, but oh well. All right.
Okay. Hello and welcome to our OC drawing tutorial. Woo! Woo! Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah. Cool. So, everyone knows pony gotta look like a pony. Flash, basically, like what they do in the show is supposed to look all vector based. So actually, it's a simple design. When you start to actually make your pony, you want to think, when you look at it, it's going to be 3 circles. Okay? The head is like your circle. Okay. You can keep on just making a rough design of the head, and then you want to position your body around here, starter, and then get close. If you're going to do 3/4 design of the pony. Yeah. Okay. Now, once you have that, you want to actually think of from circles to an S shape, because the pony kind of has this little design going from the neck all the way down until it reaches the flank area, and then it kind of right here you got a little bit of a hard edge, so it can show the back hoof. Go right here. You want to always think about your proportions, and when you're designing the pony, how tall, how long, how wide. So about this length and height for the hoof is actually going to be good. I'm going to curve a little bit here. I'm going to another curve right there, and that actually signifies how thick we want this hoof. I'm going to then curve it right here, because that's actually one of the joints and where the pony can actually back hoof and totally buck those trees. We're leaving it open, so yeah, so we definitely have the key mark right there. And we got that S curve there. We also want to think of a C-shaped curve for the front, for the torso. So right here on the under the head, you're gonna want to go down, curve, It can be like any thickness you want, because sometimes you can have like a really kind of meaty kind of like, yeah, I've exercised so much, I'm like buff kind of like pony, and then you can be like, yeah, kind of like that, yeah. So, yeah, you can like do any angle you want. Is like gonna like signify if it's like has that kind of like quality. It can be a thin pony, it can be like, yeah, that kind of buff pony. So whatever you like. Kind of like finish it right there. Can you hear me? Okay, cool. And it's important. Okay. Okay, I can probably see now. Now we got the back hoof. And you want to actually also now make the front hoof, which is another simple kind of like curve shape hoof, being in proportion. Kind of like that. You want to be like equal to the same kind of like plane of where the back hoof is. So it's like horizontal in that way. Right there. And you got like a pony coming out. Looks cool. But he kind of looks flat in a way right now. His body, at least. You want, at some point, we're going to like, pretty much right now, add the back, the other kind of like right side to him. So he has like 4 total hooves. So pretty much when they show, they have like the same graphic and symbols of what I've drawn here for the back hoof, represented right here for his other side. Usually they also add like a bit of a shade. So it's kind of like, that's where in general, light is making it a little bit darker. When I color him, he'll actually, have a bit more darker texture to him. It'd be nice. Now, all the hooves kind of like look similar to this, but you can always like, if you want to like make this pony actually like wave at you or something, or say something cool, you can actually make another design of a hoof, say right here. Just coming up. And the show, they kind of like have this little tipped, almost like end of the hand. Look cool. And that is basically your pony body. But we totally need a head, right? I mean, whenever you look at a character, even anything in art, you're always like looking at like people's faces and their eyes. And that's really important. People recognize that. It's like one of those things back in the day. You just kind of like, evolution has told you like, always look at these things. Try and make, so we're gonna make the head with the outline right there. Gonna put more detail. I try to like, I'm starting with the back of his head where I've got kind of curved, and then I'm gonna add his, seems to be pretty large, but cool ear. Almost looking like an elf ear, so it's really kind of getting that hard pointed end. And I like a little C-shaped design, so it actually looks like you can hear. Has that little ear canal, which is very good. And I'll like make a bit of a curve there. Actually, it's really important to like start doing the mouth at this point. So we'll do a filly. That's you already see a lot in the show, fillies. And they usually have heads that are kind of with their mouths looking like that. Kind of like a J shape. Let me try to do another one right here. See? That's kind of like we're going to have like the head look like. That's for Philly. Kind of like, you also want to have like, depending on what you want, you can have like it angle a bit here. But for like Colt, you want to actually have like a bit of a square shape to his nose. So it's going to be more like, kind of thing like that. Actually, yeah, let's get some smiles going here. Smile, smile. Eyes. But anyway, so yeah, that's 3/4 head turn. You can also, do just a side kind of view where you only have one eye. You've probably seen a lot of them in the basic drawings they always show in the media department. They always seem to have the same kind of like designs of Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash, where it's just pretty much just
It's beautiful. I love it.
it's one eye. Actually, it's pretty.
Yeah, that's good drawing when it's smart.
Really?
It's not that easy.
Anyway. Here, I'll do it for this one. And as a female, you want to think of the eyelashes to actually like give it that characteristic that is a female, because normally the colts don't actually have eyelashes. They don't really show much in general. I mean, you might have like a little line sometimes here. You'll see it on a few ponies, but definitely like add this. And it's important to like if you're gonna like make earth ponies, you want to have it like this rounded kind of like eyeball. Okay, like what I've got here. Otherwise, if it's gonna be like a unicorn, usually you see them have a bit of a tapered kind of like corner to their eye, so it's more like looks more like this. Oh, sorry. Maybe even add a few extra eyelashes. I know Rarity actually has like around 6 eyelashes, kind of like going down there. And if you're gonna do like an Alcorn, except for like Twilight, because they kept the same kind of like eye shape for her, but usually they kind of do a bit more styled kind of angle to it. A bit of a curve right here. Just kind of goes up, and then eventually gets to that point. Anyway. With eyes, you definitely want to think of adding the pupil. Now you can have this like whatever color you like in general, as long as it matches like the color palette of your pony. Say, for example, I'm gonna have this pony be, I don't know, orange. Usually that matches up well with like a light blue or bluish colors. And so we can make the mane actually kind of blue in that sense. Yeah. Yes. I'm a really big fan of orange and blue, so that's cool. But to complement the colors, we do have a bit of. They're both kind of like, one's dark, and then the other one's a brighter color. So you don't want to actually make it too distracting for the eye pupil. But in general, it's going to kind of make an oval shape here. I'm going to have him looking up, so it's going to be really cool. There's like basically 2 ovals. The center one's going to be the darker one, because whenever you look at someone's eye, you always see like the dark kind of circle right there. And for cats, it's kind of like a bit more harder edge on both front ends. Just like saying for a different example. And then I always see in the show they have like in the actual colored pupil these few lines with like at least 2 different colored, but very similar in the same eye color squares. So say this is, I don't know, yellow. It's going to be kind of like maybe yellowish orange color. Orange. And these 2 in the center are going to be like 2 separate colors, but they're still going to have that quality. So one's going to be like maybe, they usually are lighter colored. So it would be like yellow, and then another yellow, but it could be like, it's always kind of like seems faded. It's like they add a bit of like some kind of white wash over it. And that looks cool. But another thing that stylizes an actual pony is their mane. I mean, if you're going to recognize, say, Pinkie Pie versus Rainbow Dash, you're going to see like the big fluffy kind of like hair, the mane. For Pinkie Pie compared to the sharp angled lines of Rainbow Dash being all cool and tough and awesome. So, doing so, let's see. What is this pony like? She's kind of girly in a way. I'm going to say maybe some curls, maybe rounded color. Rounded, kind of like not too many edges. So I'm going to make some circles right here. Thinking about Pinkie Pie, but I'm also thinking about, if you want an example, Bonbon, who also has some other kind of like rounded parts in the hair. Actually, also, what do you call it? Berry Punch has a very similar hairstyle to this one. Usually it kind of like starts up at the top of the ear and just kind of works its way down, maybe somewhere around like here. You don't want to have it too low, or it's going to be hard for the pony to actually see where she's going. I know, like, depending on where that thing is, I know Pinkie Pie has the bit of a curl going way down, and it looks really nice, but she's going to like always have that little thing in her face, so I have to watch. Although, for ponies such as Fluttershy, that's like, instead of having all these like curves, it's more of a smooth, another like C shape or J kind of thing. So I'd be like, for this pony, kind of like right there. All you have to do, really simple, go up here, bring it up, over the pony, curl it around, and just make it simple like that. Maybe add a few little lines, show that it's actually kind of like there in a three-dimensional space in a way. It's not like just too flat. You can add as much detail as you want. I know some people haven't even really gotten to the point where, in big artist name, people actually will like add detail, like textures, such as like their own skin. Maybe they'll take a photo of themselves and add that kind of like layer, like a really light opacity over their character, and then it'll look more real. Anything you can really do to like any of your characters. This can be a human, it can be a pony. If you can, like get to that next level, it'll really like show yourself as an artist, who you really are, and knowing that you can actually go to almost a professional photo quality level, getting that real world look. Now, not only does the pony have a mane up here in the top front, but they also have in the back. So we have to add some curves here. You'll probably see it easier now that this one's not as jumbled with the little lines we made earlier, which is always useful in creating characters. Sometimes you'll even add like in the process a little line right here, kind of looks like an X. That's kind of like, depending on actually how you do it, will show where you put the eye and the mouth and all those important details in designing characters. So, yep, just something like that. Can even add a few lines here. Sure, look nice. And of course, ponies in general always have tails. So we're going to add very similar curls to this one. And pretty much there you have the rough pony. Yes, question?
I'm going to be a little picky and I actually want to draw a straighter tail. How would I go about doing that?
Kind of like Twilight's mane or tail?
For example.
Yeah, okay. See here. Okay, so if we want to do Twilight's tail, you want to kind of go up here, give a good curve, as wide as you want it, but not too overpowering or too over the actual pony, because that'll look weird. But basically another kind of like J shape, and if I remember correctly, it's somewhere kind of waves a bit. And then you do another J shape, and you want to get really close to the other end of this tail where it meets the flank. Here, I'll draw the flank. Give you a point of reference. Yeah. This one, yeah. What a flank! Oh my gosh. And then curve roll it right here. Yep, that's your tail. And of course, if I can, I'm going to add some little lines, just like Twilight. And when you get up to here, actually, oh my gosh, you can't see it well. See it? You want to like get the lines closer to each other, okay? And since this is such a good example, I might as well try coloring. You can actually, once you've done the drawing with pencil and you've roughed out your idea, you can like use pens and pencils or like darker kind of like pencils and make it outline really well and like to the way you want it. You want to like also think when you're drawing with pen, the thickness of the line, okay? Usually like the line will help show maybe some shade or like emphasis on this area, because if you see a thicker line in one area, like you have this little line here. It's very thin. Okay, you probably won't even notice it. But if you look at this line, it's really thick. You'll totally like have your eye just attracted to that one bigger line. Okay? So let's see. Yeah, I grabbed a pink pencil. Why not a pen? Why don't we just like start drawing, outlining pink? And like Twilight, I know it's gonna be a bit rough. Do I have a thicker one here? Yeah, it's thicker. There are different thicknesses for pens and pencils too. Yeah, we got some colors. This is, yeah. This is what I'd usually do, especially for illustration class. My own illustration class I'm taking currently. Just draw something, pencil, and go with the pen and make the outline. And then actually after that, I would get the eraser and just erase it out, and then you'll see only the pen marks, which is really useful. Yeah, and you can once you've actually done that, you can like throw it into a scanner on a computer, and it'll easily read that ink outline, and you can like throw that into like Photoshop or Illustrator. It look pretty cool. Yeah.
Not in the company too, but isn't there usually a problem with ink in that it like will reflect the light sometimes, or is that?
You mean like highlights?
Yeah.
Or like
for example, this was like ages back, so it's like not laser scanner, so I don't know it. But back when they used like the light scanners, for example, whenever I drew in pen, what happens is the pen would actually reflect the light back to the scanner, so that like when I scanned it, you could barely see the pen marks. Is that an issue? So
I do seem, whenever I get on a scanner and actually have only pencils, I mean, it's kind of like a lot of time it'll seem, a bit faded, or like it'll just won't pick up every single line or detail in the pencil mark. But at least when it comes to pen, it's a bit darker, so it's easier to read for the scanner. It kind of, compared to the say white surface of the background, you'll be able to see it. And I'm sure if you like do some mess around with your settings on the computer, you'll probably get it. Yeah. No problem. Anything else? Nope. We're good. Cool. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you Ryan for this nice presentation on how to draw no C. Man,
Yep.
I got to pick up drawing sometime. Get those tablets. I had just come back from one of the booths in the back, and he's got a WoW comic. Damn, I gotta get one. All right. So all of you others, we still have a great selection of programming lined up for all of you. So all of you, please stay tuned and don't go anywhere. I don't know what the next panel is, but I'm pretty sure it'll be fascinating. So thank you.
Okay, what's over there?
Okay, well,
Yeah, we're ready.
excuse me. I am a half-decent character designer, and I like to think that I do things a little differently because I try to make mine realistic looking instead of like you see with Final Fantasy where everything is insane and there's 10 million things. Like we have this chick, she looks kind of realistic.
It's like she's talking about
This chick, she actually looks like a person this time. And then there's these people. This guy's mine. This guy's one of my friends. And let's see. One way to just do a random person. For some reason, whenever I draw people, I automatically draw a girl. So let's just draw a girl. Give her the waist. Give her arms. Finish off the arms. Okay, we'll give her. Like, we have the basic template right now, and here's where the fun begins on designing and everything. There's a lot of options you can do after you just get the basic shape down. You could give her, say, elf ears, so we'll give her nice pointy elf ears. Try to make the ears look like they're the same thing. Well, now she has elf ears, so she's an elf, and like,
Oh, now it fits. Yeah. You just put that under. It should be good. I don't know if it's recording though.
So now she's an elf that like provides its own things. So you've already limited yourself a little bit. Part of design is that you have to try to not limit yourself unless you already have an idea of what you want to do. So if you want to go ahead and limit yourself, you can make them a human, an elf. If you know how to draw orcs, you can make like an orc or something. So I've made my chicken elf. So there's probably a couple things, only a handful of things I can do with this. Most elves would have nice, long, flowing hair. So we'll give her nice, long, flowing hair with the big anime bangs. Give her nice, flowing hair, flowing way behind her back. Give her some hair on the top of her head because she's not bald. And elves have delicate features. I can't really draw delicate features. That's what we've got going so far. Basic elf, long flowing hair. Give her a nice little delicate nose. And then give her a nice little smile because she's a friendly elf. Give her some lips because she's pretty, or I imagine she'd be pretty. And elves usually have nice round eyes, so we'll give her some nice round eyes. This is not my best drawing. So that'll be eyes. She's kind of got a face going on. Now this is the part that's always fun. Figuring out what she would wear. Elves are usually archers, and for some reason when I think of archers, I think of vests. So we'll give her a vest, and following what I know about clothing, with a woman, the vest goes right over left. So now she's got a vest. Question is, what would she wear underneath that vest? We'll give her sort of a low-cut shirt. I need to give her the vest on her arms too. Give her like a low-cut short-sleeve shirt to wear under her vest. She would have sort of low-hanging pants to provide her room to move. Or low-riding pants, I'm not sure what the term would be. Give her some half legs. She's a lady, so she would have long, delicate hands. I can't draw hands. Just imagine she has long, delicate hands. Let's give her some earrings, even though you can barely see them. So far we got this going on. We got that going on for our elf girl. And then, fun part is always to add little adornments so she doesn't look like she's just weird. So we'll give her like little line right there, little line right there to add like trimming to her pants. Her shirt can have some little trimming as well. Give her some trimming on her vest because her vest has to stay closed somehow. And you can add like fun little designs that can just be little lines. Try to mirror them if you're going to mirror them. Mirror them as best you can. So she has that. Let's give her like a little swirly tattoo on this wrist. So that's going on. Let's give her like a little tiara because elves are, maybe not a tiara, but a little ring to go around her head because elves like to be pretty. Give her some jewels in her thing. Add details to her hair. Just like add random lines to make her hair look better. Give her pockets. Add like neck things, that's just something I do. And I really have no idea what I'm doing, so I'll just end it at that. We've got an elf girl going on. And character design is basically just staring at the page, drawing until you like what you see. And if you feel the need to just draw for 4 hours until you get it right, draw for 4 hours. And I think that's it because I'm out of ideas. Thank you.
All right, that was Wyatt. Wyatt, thank you for your informal presentation. Thank you. We're going to take a quick break, but after the break, we're going to have the next panel, whoever the next panel is.
That's me.
It's him.
It's you.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and when they're ready, they will be ready, and they'll give us whatever it is in the next panel it was. I'm kidding, it's about fan fiction. Thank you.
So if you ever want to get started, then Ian's your man.
This cable is shorter than it looks, I'm sorry. So maybe if you use traditional royal cancer, a lot worse. But otherwise, yeah, it's just as short as it looks.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hi there.
Hello?
You can introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Come on. Hello. Fuck this one. Okay. Alright, hello, everyone. My name's Ian, as Omar explained. I've been responsible for doing a lot of the film fiction workshops we've been having here in the club. So I know a thing or two when it comes to writing fan fictions, and I'll be more than glad to show pretty much a quick tutorial on how to get started, some tips on what to do, what not to do, and stuff like that. I'm by no way an expert, but I like to think of myself as one. So if you have a differing opinion, keep it to yourself. Now, I'm sure... Yes? Yes, he can. Anyway, so
I'm assuming all of you can speak English, can write English, and stuff like that. Now, basically, we're going to start off at step 0. Now, before you want to write a fanfic, for the love of all that's holy, please actually know what you're writing about. Basically, this means if you're writing a My Little Pony fanfic, become an expert in My Little Pony.
So the TARDIS is like a police box.
Get out of here.
VR? Wait, VR? Oh, hi.
It's a telephone booth, obviously.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So anyway, because you're going to be the problem with fanfics is that you're going to be working in a universe that you yourself have not created. So what you're going to have to do is try to learn as much as you can about the universe you're trying to write in. So basically, if you're going to do My Little Pony, you're going to need to know as much as you can about My Little Pony, canon sources that you're going to need to know. Before you start writing, also, it's a good idea to review your basic grammar. I'll fully admit I don't remember what exactly an adverb is, so it's a good idea to review basic grammar, punctuation, that sort of thing. These little things can help you later on. Exactly. Yeah. Before you even start writing, it's also a good idea to start networking. I'm sure parents have been telling you before you leave college it's a good idea to network so you can get jobs, blah, 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 blah. Same thing applies to writing a fanfic. You want to try and have networks in place before you even start posting fanfics because you need people to critique it, you need people to bounce ideas off of, you need friends yeah, exactly. So you're going to need to start networking. So it's a good idea. Fanfiction.net is probably the most popular I've seen, easiest to use, good networking, great groups. Get started there. Fanfiction.net. .net, for the love of God, .net. Because I'll fully admit that there's a .com you don't want to. Don't ask.
Just keep it away from the camera. Or keep like a 20-meter radius.
Okay. And finally, the last thing you need to do is, please, drop the ego. You're going to be writing there's going to be people who do not like your story. There are going to be people who think you can't write. Get over it. It's going to happen. Just get ready for it. Exactly. Okay, so we're moving on to the first step. So we're moving on to your first steps. Okay, so let's see. Brainstorm. All right. So basically, before you even start writing, you actually need to know what the hell you're going to write. So for step 1, actually start brainstorming ideas. And what's your concept going to be? Who's going to be involved? And then start thinking about who's your protagonist? Who's your antagonist? If you need one, what's the story going to be about? What's the problem that needs to be solved? What's the conflict, etc., etc., etc. And a lot of times these stories can be simply summed up in single sentences or even simple questions. Like I've seen a lot of fanfics that are just simply what-if questions. Like, what if the elements of harmony never existed? What if Discord was never reformed? What if Fluttershy was orange instead of yellow? I mean, a lot of those stories are just simple what-ifs, but they start and are usually the basis. Other examples could be, this is the story of Twilight Sparkle who wants to obtain the new copy of Daring Do, but Rainbow Dash stands in the way. So you have these sort of stories that you can base off in these simple lines, and that's what you want to start thinking about. Who's going to be involved? Stuff like that. It's a good idea. Have a pad of paper, a notebook. Just start coming up with ideas. If you need ideas, actually watch a couple episodes, rewatch it, start thinking. What interests you? What?
No, I had a question about writing. You might have heard that writing theory that says if you actually write something out instead of typing it, it's supposed to make you more pro. Would that be true?
Shut up. Honestly, I don't know. It's not my thing. Some people are more auditory or visual or kinetic or electric. I don't care. Whatever works for you. You want to write? Write. You want to type? Type. You want to chisel it? You want to Morse code it? Whatever. Whatever floats your boat. Okay. Let's moving on. Step 2.
Did you mention anything about creating an outline? Just organizing your thoughts. I know a lot of writers tell these.
I can't hear you.
Just for sake of organization, what's your opinion on outlines? Do you
Well, you want to come up with a bare bones outline, but the first step is just coming up with a base concept. Then you flesh it out into a bare bones, then you flesh it out into an actual story. So,
Right, that makes sense.
yeah, I mean, yeah. Anyway, step 2, we're going to, as I said, flesh it out. Here you're going to want to come up with a bare bones outline for what your story is going to be. What you want to do is come up with major plot points, protagonist, antagonist, and an ending. So anyway, who are these characters you're working with again? If you're working with canon characters in My Little Pony, you're going to want to become mega expert on them. Watch every episode, read every canon source, and you'll notice I keep talking about canon. It's okay to have your own fan interpretation of such and such character, but you might want, it's a good idea to stick more to canon than it is fan ideas.
Barry is secretly a vampire.
That could be a new fanfic idea.
Totally official.
Yeah. If you're dealing with a background character or something like that, you have a bit more room to work with because there's no set in stone what's personality for them. Possibly. Now, if you're going to do an OC, though, if your story is going to involve OCs, original characters and stuff like that, obviously they're going to be your own creation, and for the love of God, please develop them. You want to make these characters have highs, lows, good sides, bad sides, quirks, fears.
You don't want it to be perfect.
Exactly. What makes My Little Pony so great? And exactly. Twilight's obsessive compulsive. Fluttershy is extremely shy. Rainbow Dash is kind of a jerk sometimes.
Celestia is too perfect.
Celestia is too perfect.
Applejack is
No, it's two failings.
Exactly. So when you make an OC, you need to remember that they have to be both positive and negative. There has to be good sides and bad sides. So when you make them, it's odd, but you actually have to make them more human. You have to give them flaws, mistakes, that sort of thing. And don't be kind of like make them have one mistake that defines their entire character. This is not Twilight. The books, not the pony. Now, if you're writing something that involves magic powers, arcane, blah, 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 that sort of thing, the key to avoiding an OP or Mary Sue character is to give them limits. If they have a power, shackle them somewhat. If, for example, their power is water bending or something like that, you have to come up with some sort of limit to it. Like, for example, of course, they can't do it without water around. Or it's limited to certain sources of water, that sort of thing. The problem with power is that if it's unlimited, it's boring. I mean, how many times have you played those kind of do whatever you want games and you get kind of bored with them after a while? Because you can just literally like snap your fingers, create a whole mountain of explosive debris that all it takes is one shot and the whole thing blows up. Yeah, it gets boring after a while. So if you create a character that has flaws and powers that have weaknesses to them, it makes them more endearing. Now, when it comes to design, you've already got a class on that. My take would be do whatever you feel like, but understand sometimes most people would ascribe to a more simpler design. But, that's just me. Okay, let's. Any questions so far? I'll take your stunned silence as no. All right, step 3. Now we can actually get some damn writing done. But before we ask, what's your audience going to be? Probably should have considered that. What's your tone and what's your rating going to be? Now, on FimFic, there's 3 major ratings. There's going to be E for everyone, teen, and then there's the mature stuff. So basically, it's a good idea to have an idea of who your audience is going to be before you start writing. That pretty much shows what topics you're going to touch on, what descriptions you're going to go into, that sort of thing. You got to know who you're going to write for. You don't want to start writing a nice, happy, cutesy story, and then you, trip, and then suddenly, boom, it gets really grimdark on you. Yeah. Man.
He's still alive.
I'll start by making this point. If you're going to go for something dark and gory and all that, understand you're going to get some heat for it. You're going to get some flack. You're going to get some mean messages. I mean, honestly, you're doing this to cut cute and colorful ponies. What did you expect? Okay. Now, we've got a concept. We've got our characters. We've got paper and pencil, typing, whatever you want to work with. Now you should start writing. And the key to this is just write. Write as much as you can in your first session.
Just start writing. It doesn't matter if it doesn't look good. It doesn't matter if it's horrible. It doesn't matter if you've written it in Sanskrit by accident. It's a rough draft. That's the point. So go ahead, and if you're looking at it, say this needs to be changed, that sort of thing. That's good. This is a first draft. I akin it to just jumping into a pool. Sometimes you gotta like ease yourself into it. Other times you just have to like flop in and get it over with. First step's always the hardest. And any questions? Nah, that's pretty easy. Okay, now we're on to step 4. Once you're finished writing, or you stopped, or something happens, like you have to eat, or job, or school, stop. Okay, you got some pages done, that's great. Now go do some other stuff. Go play some video games. Go watch some more My Little Pony. Go take out the trash. Go put your story down and come back to it a day or two later. Now reread it. Does it look good as it did when you first finished it? See, a lot of people when they first write something, they look it over once and then say, this is the best thing I've ever written. You can see like sparkles are coming off of it, and you can see the vision of the future. You're the next big story. Every Brony knows you. And then come back a day later and you're like, I can't believe I actually wrote this. So it's a good idea to come back to it. You're going to be your worst critic. And if you're satisfied with it, good. Other people should be satisfied. When you first do edits, there's nothing wrong with cutting huge sections out, cutting characters, rewriting the whole story. If you need to, even toss the whole concept, because it sounded great once, but then in practice, it didn't come out so nice. I mean, my first story, I got maybe 5 or 6 pages in, and then I woke up and realized it was a bad idea. Tossed it. It was an Alicorno say, let's not start. Yeah. So for now, we're just going to have you editing it. First off, you're going to look at grammar. Does everything make sense to you? Obviously, you know how the whole story is going to work out, so everything's going to sound great. Now, here's the fun part. Get someone else to read it. Your best bet, ask someone else to read it, and if they're up to it, critique it. What? 5. So you're going to want someone else to read it. So maybe a family member, maybe a friend, maybe a girlfriend or boyfriend. Exactly, I don't know. Anyway, they're going to give you their ideas. They're going to say, this looks nice, that sort of thing. If you get your mom to read it, most likely she's going to say it's perfect unless you're writing something really gory, in which case she might get you counseling. So keep that in mind. Now you got someone to read it, get someone else to read it. And then someone else. And then someone else. If you don't have that many friends, kidnap people. I don't care.
What? The club does not condone this.
Okay, fine. Don't condone fanfics. Anyway, the point of this is you want to get as many different people to read it as possible. The whole point of critiques is that they're going to look at the whole story, hopefully, and read over it and give you an honest idea of what needs to be changed, what needs to be fixed, what's good, what works, and what needs to be just tossed out the window. So the point here is you're trying to get someone who's distant / not really connected to you. So yeah, you want to start off with family members because they'll give you the confidence to ask your friends, and then your friends will give you the confidence to maybe ask some guy you met on FimFic while networking who does this sort of thing for a living. And when he comes back with your story's complete complete garbage, it won't hurt you that much after the first few days of crying. What you want is honest critique. You want people who read it over and give you a couple paragraphs, a paragraph, that sort of thing. Or you want someone who actually help you, not just say your story's shit and then throw it out a window at you. So that happens. But the whole point of this stage is you want someone to critique. As I said before, drop your ego. Most of these people just want to help. Most of them, I say, because I've gotten people who would just say it's terrible just because I used a bad cover art. So you want somebody who will look at it and say, this is good, this is bad. Okay. Yeah. The whole point of criticisms, you want to keep any criticisms in mind, though. Really, there's going to be some stuff they're going to say you should change that you're not going to be really comfortable with. Maybe you like this character being in the story. Maybe you like this happening. Maybe you feel this is necessary. Maybe this point builds into another that they haven't gotten to yet. So keep criticisms in mind, but at the same time, it's up to you. But if you're getting a lot of criticisms about the same thing, you probably should change it. But, gotta take it with a grain of salt. Come on, drop the ego, dude. Any questions? Like I said, you should start networking on FimFic. There's groups that will critique. You can make friends who will critique. We have a FimFiction workshop here. We have every other Tuesday. We will be more than glad to go over chapters of your story, whatever you have. Daniel?
The most common mistakes in fanfics that you have seen, just in general.
Personal?
Yeah, it's personal.
Grammar mistakes, OP characters, weird crossovers. What's a weird crossover? You want to hear a weird crossover? One of the featured stories on FimFic for a while was Vas Montenegro in Equestria. If you don't know who he is, he's the antagonist in Far Cry 3.
Oh, Voss. Oh.
Yeah, remember, watch out for Voss, he'll enslave your ass. Voss. Yeah, that guy in Equestria.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, it was actually pretty popular. But, we'll get to that later. Yeah. Anyway, so now we're on to step 3x minus 5 equals 13. Solve for x. Now, we're going to get to the fun part, and that's posting it. As I said before, fanfiction.net is the most popular. Most stories use it. It's easy to use. There's a large community. Other people use Google Docs, but you have to have some other means of distributing it since Google Docs is literally just the document.
X equals 6.
Exactly. Thank you. You get it. So, fanfiction.net, like I said, you should already be networking. You should already be part of groups. You should already have friends. If you don't have friends, I'm sorry. I can't help you there. I don't have any. So this is something you should have started networking like a while before you posted. These groups can help you develop your story, and a lot of them will actually allow you to post it to their folders and stuff, and that'll help advertise it to any members of the group. So it's a good way to get your story out there. Any questions? Making an account is simple. You use an email address, blah, 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 blah. All right, what's next? When it comes to fanfiction.net, they've got guides left and right on how to get, what you're posted there. Please read them. I'm not going to go over them. I don't have time. Do I care? What you do need for FimFic, yeah?
To add on to what you're saying, a good place to check is they have a folder or a group called Author Support where they have everything from world building to common grammars.
Yeah, Author Support is probably one of the bigger groups. They're huge. They've got everything you need. There's some other groups that you might want to check out. Honestly, it's up to you. Anyway, for fanfiction.net, for your story, you're also going to need to develop a long synopsis and a short synopsis. Basically, a quick summary of your story. When it comes to writing these, it's a good idea to have to reveal kind of what the basic plot of your story is without giving away too much. So if your story is simple as Rainbow Dash is preventing Twilight from getting the new book, it'd be like flesh out the story a bit through do the synopsis, have a little bit of what's going on, that sort of thing. Don't want to give away too much where people won't actually read the story. Like if you have a big, Shyamalan twist at the end where it turns out that Twilight is Rainbow Dash or something crazy stupid like that, you should probably not mention that in the synopsis. No one's not going to read it because they'll see it coming a mile away. Also, twists suck. Also, for FimFiction, you can actually use cover art for your story. Now, there's a couple rules about cover art. One, don't use a pony creator image. Actually, I'll talk about cover art later. Basically, for now, draw it yourself if you can, in which case you should probably consider just doing comics and stuff. They're far easier. Or commission one of your favorite artists. Any questions? Good. All right, so we're on whatever number step we are.
So, can you post like a comic book?
No, it's mostly it's just text, like fanfics and stuff like that. If you want to do comics and stuff, I would suggest going with like DeviantArt, or possibly making a Tumblr account, because those Tumblrs are very popular. The Ask blogs, those sort of things, Flufflepuff, Chubbies, that sort of thing. Yeah, okay. Oi! Thank you. Now, so your story's done, you're posted, it's all up. What are you going to do now? Well, you're going to keep working on it. Once it's posted and stuff, people are going to start commenting on it. You're going to get likes, you're going to get dislikes. People are hopefully going to try and tell you something you need to get done. You're going to have other groups you can talk to. Keep working on it. If the story is done, If someone comes up and says, hey, you should probably try changing this, critique this, blah, 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 don't hesitate to change it. The great thing about film fiction is you can actually change the story that's posted. It's not like once it's posted, it's there, oh my God, you used the wrong there. Now you have to suffer and let everyone and their mom tell you that you used the wrong there and there's nothing you can do about it. No, you don't have to worry about that. You can actually change it once it's up. If it's still being written, keep writing. Last thing you want to do is get interested in something else or get playing Animal Crossing or something like that, get into Dark Souls, and then you never come back to it. Whatever popularity you had will be gone. So be consistent, set up a schedule, an hour or two every day to write, whatever you can do. Keep improving, keep working, and that's how it goes. Now, I'm going to take a second to talk about some of the extra stuff. Now, there's a couple different genres when it comes to fanfics you should know about. First, of course, is the slice of life stories. These stories pretty much mimic the show. They're usually quick, more cheerful stories. Pretty much think the show, but in written form. There's a lot of them. They're very popular. Very nice stories. You also have your adventure stories, which are usually longer stories involving quests, usual save the world nonsense. These can range anywhere from your happy tiptoe through the tulips to your dark and gritty Fallout Equestrias. With these stories, they're usually extremely long, very deep, tons of characters, that sort of thing. There's actually an entire genre literally called random, and that is just random. I mean, these stories are ridiculous concepts purely for comedic purposes. I mean, there's one that's like some crazy, terrible OC ruling the world as a...
Sombra?
No. It was something else, but it was like, it's something just meant to be comedic. Yeah, that. Something crazy like that. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, one of the other genres I want to talk about is shipping. We all know what shipping is, right? Need I go into shipping? No. Shipping is pretty much self-explanatory, character x character, blah, blah, blah. Yeah?
It's also like where we want to get a lot of...
Yeah, shipping will get... Yeah.
Because everyone has their own shipping in their heads like, this isn't right.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of people, like say you ship...
Rainbow sparkle.
Yeah. If you're going to ship something like Twi-Shy or something like that, Twilight and Fluttershy, you're going to get the people who are like, no, Fluttershy deserves to be with Applejack, or Twilight deserves to be with Rarity. Or... Yeah?
True story, I was at a ship meeting. One of my friends told me someone attempted on shipping Applejack. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you'll get a lot of those. If you want to go for it, be my guest. I've never really done shipping. It's got its own set of nasty rules. Not my deal. One of the other genres I want to talk about is crossovers. Everything I said about becoming a master of My Little Pony, double it. Because now you have to be a master of an entire another universe. And you also have to figure out how you're going to mix the two. Yeah, so you're going to have... A lot of these crossovers can range from the two universes melding together, like Fallout Equestria, where it seems like My Little Pony could develop into some nightmare like that. Or you have your simple such and such characters in Equestria now, like your Vas Montenegros, your Batmans, your Power Rangers, that sort of thing. Yeah. A lot of those stories are just simply character that you love is copy and pasted into Equestria, hijinks ensue. Think of it like Kingdom Hearts. So, yeah. Personally, I prefer the more melding universes, but that one comes with its own problems because you have to figure out, like, how do the two universes meet? How do they work together? Yeah, it takes some time. Oh, human and Equestria stories. Don't write them. What? Yeah, there are some good ones out there, but human Equestria stories are largely unacceptable. No. I know.
There was one human Equestria story that was completely absurd, so that was okay. I'm still on that.
What?
Your opinion on self-insert OCs?
If done correctly, they're all right, but largely avoid them. I mean, honestly, I'll admit I have OCs that are just self-insert OCs, but people can usually see them a mile away and they do not like them. So a self-insert OC is when you literally pretty much create your own pony version of yourself, a pony sona, and then create a story where your character does stuff. A lot of these are probably your pony sona falling in love and marrying your favorite character. Yeah, again, there's a lot of exceptions to these rules. I mean, I say you need a fully developed OC, and then you have something like Flufflepuff, which her only thing is she's so goddamn cute. So there's a lot of exceptions. Yeah, so anyway, and for my last point, I want to talk about quickly grimdark, mature stories. These are darker tales, dark, gored, blah, blah, blah. Be careful, these are not popular unless in certain circulars, and you will come under fire. So if you want to do one of these, go right ahead. I'll be standing over here behind the bomb shelter. So you want to go for it, go ahead, but understand, just don't be surprised when it's like, oh my god, I'm getting all this hate because I accidentally labeled my story E for everyone. Yeah. Anyway, and then my last thing, cover art. Like I said, you want to either draw it yourself, in which case I would suggest drawing, period, or commission an artist. There's a couple different ways you can go about commissioning artists. If you have a there's artists here who draw for people like Scarlett. Go ahead and commission her. She's super cheap. And she does... No. I was about to finish that she also does very good work for very low prices. I'm sorry. I was literally about to finish. Then everyone's like, oh. Seriously, she is a very good artist. Commission. If you have a favorite artist in mind, go ahead and try to commission them, but understand a lot of these guys are popular for a reason and they have a lot of projects. If you want to try and commission them, it's all about opportunity. Follow them like stalkers, and when slots open, get in. When it comes to filmfiction.net, avoid using a pony creator image. Like if you have your character and you want to use your pony creator image for him, don't. You will come under fire because a lot of the people who use pony creator images as their cover art, usually lower quality stories, even if you actually put some work into yours and then it turns out you didn't have anything on hand. If it's between a pony creator image and no cover art, go with no cover art. Why? I'll tell you why. My first story I posted, I didn't have a cover image, so I said, okay, well, I got pony creator image. Why don't I use that? Oh no. Yeah, within an. Yeah, or show screen caps. Those actually work. Actually, I've seen a couple of stories that use them, but it is kind of lazy as well. It depends. That's the problem. Within the first hour of posting my story with the pony creator image, I got 3 downvotes.
Can I throw another thing in there?
Yeah.
Don't steal someone else's art and use that for.
Yeah, like I said, please, if you're going to steal someone else's art, shoot yourself. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe ask.
Yeah. Ask the artist if you're okay with that. Sometimes the art you really like is actually commissioned by someone else for their story. Or, if you're going to ask, properly cite the artist, properly cite your sources. You're in college, you should know APA and MLA stylings. Just kidding. But yeah, ask the artist, cite your sources. Be nice. And that's pretty much it for me. So, now that you've pretty much understood the basics, I insist you all please go out and write whatever terrible alicorn black and red OC you want. If you have now, we have our film fiction group. I'd like to emphasize that again. If you have any ideas, please bring them to our film fiction meetings. We'll be more than glad to read over your chapters, discuss ideas, discuss OC building and universe work.
When's the next meeting?
The next meeting is next Tuesday, I believe. Yeah. Any questions? Yes. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if you're looking to make money off of it, you're in the wrong business. If you're looking to get popular off of it, I don't know. Honestly, when I was starting to write fanfic, I always thought it was like the lowest form of fandom because anybody can really do it without any actual work and stuff. But
Hey guys, we have the room for about 15 more minutes.
okay. Anyway, it's mostly just done for the pure fun of it. There's some people who have gotten very popular with fanfics. I mean, everyone knows the name Fallout Equestria, Passons, shipping and handling, that sort of thing. So, I mean, you can get popular. Don't expect to get popular. Honestly, it's more just for fun. All right, that's it for me. I'm getting out of here. If you need me, I'll be in the back of the room. I can still do consulting work, blah, blah, blah.
All right, that was Ian with his how-to fan fiction. Thank you, Ian. Yes. And that will be our last program. No, just kidding. That's not. Sorry, background disease. Once again, the fanfic meeting group. They meet about Tuesdays, like once a week, every 2 weeks, bi-weekly.
It's not our normal meeting.
They meet bi-weekly, so if you ever wanted to get started with writing your own fan fiction, you know where to first start. It's a great resource. It's free. And it's not as crazy as having to go to SARC or the writing lab and meeting a bunch of assistants and, oh hey, read my pony story, which is kind of weird for me. But once again, it's a free resource. They meet Tuesdays, so if you're curious about writing, then visit them. Now, before our time runs out, it seems we have one more panelist, so let's hold on for 1 second. Thank you.
Yeah. I guess I just display that. Yeah.
Hey everyone. So up next we're going to have Jordan. He's going to play us a song he's been working on actually.
And some songs I've done.
Some songs of his basically. So yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Ready. Here we go.
People want some good ones.
This, I know we don't have much time left, but this song I call D2. It's the second in a little 8-bit series I have going, but it's not quite 8-bit. Here you go. First one. Second. Hey guys, anyone know Dragon Roost Island? Legend of Zelda Wind Waker? Anyone?
What about Wind Waker?
Okay.
Wait,
I made this
Dragon Island, you said?
Dragon Roost Island theme.
Yes, I love that place.
That was Dragon River Island. Okay, we got time for one more. Yep, one more, then I just want to say a few things. It'll be really quick, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, this is something unfinished, but it's a collab that kind of I might return to with one of my partners, Vestron Vulture, okay? Last song. Now, things to say. I'm Cynthium, Cymthim. Follow me SoundCloud. Second thing to say, I'm starting a songwriters club. So if you have any interest in songwriting, if you were afraid that you don't know enough or don't have the software, I and others can help you with that. Okay? So just contact me somehow. Okay? And
do you have a Facebook post
yeah.
to make after this?
What was your channel name?
Yeah, I'll make a Facebook post in the group, okay? And I'll add you to the Facebook group we have going.
What was your channel name?
Channel I'm Cynthium, Cymphim.
Alright, well, thank you.
Okay, that's it.
Well, thanks for sharing. It's awesome to see everyone's work here.
And everyone. Kevin, take that camera and point it at Omar, please. Thank you.
Well, thank you everyone for coming by. This has been a great event. It was fun having you all. Unfortunately, our time for this room is up. So if you all could start packing up your things and we'll head out soon. Thank you once again for coming down to this event. Thanks, everyone.
Oh yeah, and if you want donuts, yes.
Donuts. We will probably make a Facebook post about donuts for those who are curious, but thank you.
So, I'm gonna have fun carrying this back.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Also, still planning on doing the animation group, so if anyone's like interested, try and contact me. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I mean, we could like do a music video, like theme all with like armored clad and UCF characters. All of us are always so.
This guy's fine.
Yeah, like Flash. But I'm totally like down with doing some cool 3D modeling stuff to do it. And like adding like acrobatics.
Oh, you got him in a wrist lock.
Yes. Source maker? Yeah, from Valve. Yeah. That's what pretty awesome. No, you're just talking about it.
Hey, stand in front of us.
Just a quick reminder, we have a good picture group next Tuesday. We won't be having a meeting probably, so we won't be having a regular running meeting that day. So if you want to come check out the fan fiction meeting, maybe you have an idea for a story you want to do. So yeah, we have a fan fiction group next week. The story we're doing is Ryan. Yeah, still on the story we're doing next week.
You're Halloween, so I never got to.
Right.
You need to submit that.
Yes, I do. I actually have to Friday.
Oh.
Don't worry. Don't worry, I'll have it to you by Friday. Anyway, yes.
Next week will be a story I wrote, so if any of you want to see me put my money where my mouth is, it's all this fan fiction crap. That's, time to come check it out. And if you want to check it out right now, I have copies of my story if you want to read that.
Like parody, so it's musical stuff. But so I used to do a lot of
They handed it to me.
Come on, that's his cosplay sword. You don't recognize it?
Finders keepers.
Kelvin.
Hey, whose flash drive is this?
Kelvin, that's the one you use in the cosplay, right?
Someone wants.
That was.
I'm going to. That's Halloween. That's not.
I think they left.
Oh,
yeah. New one?
Oh, hey, man.
Well, whatever.
I painted this for you.
But do you know whose it was? Like, so I can just leave it.
I don't really remember who gave it to. I just remember the voice saying, "Oh, here's one."
Give the flash drive to Heather.